New York City Commissioner of Immigrant Affairs. That's your official title, right? What does that mean? What do you do?
So I work for the mayor, Mayor Bloomberg, who's known pretty well, I think, globally. On his behalf, my job is to work with the immigrant communities in New York City. I gave you numbers of how many people live in our city. Nearly 40% of the 8.4 million are individuals who were born outside of the country. My parents came to New York and I was born in New York. So I am what we call sort of the child of immigrants. So just my generation, that sort of first or second as some people like to refer to them, in New York City, if we were to count the parent and that child, 60% of New York City are either immigrants or the children of immigrants. It is a very, very large number. So my job on his behalf, on the mayor's behalf, is to go out into communities, to understand communities, to work with communities, to help them understand that we want them to access city government. We want them to know what rights they have in our city. We want to know what their challenges are so that I actually come back and work with my colleagues in government so that we are better prepared to serve them. We are better prepared to serve the immigrant communities. We understand that many of the communities that have come to New York have come from countries where governments have failed them. And so government is not seen as the trusted source. It's different. We in New York really see ourselves as mediators for success for these communities. And so we go out to ensure that they understand that we want their children enrolled in our schools, that we have hospitals that are there to serve them, that if they're in need of assistance, be it public assistance or help with our police, there are ways for them to access those services.
And so you're a mediator, you're saying, a go-between?
So I would call my job in two ways. One is I think I'm a facilitator, and I have a team of people who work for me. But we go out and we listen and we meet, and we know who community members are, what community issues are. We work very closely with community organizations, with faith-based leaders, with other institutions who are the people on the ground who can help us actually navigate some of the challenges and really help us do this work. So going out and meeting these communities and making sure they know about me, our office, and about city services. And so as we learn about challenges and we learn about opportunities. I then come inside and work with my colleagues in government around creating policies and programs on how do we facilitate better success and honestly successful integration economically, civically, and socially for our immigrant communities. How do we in New York City government, where we serve people and know that every day it's my job to do that, how do we fundamentally understand the needs of our immigrant communities to better ensure that we are creating policies that best serve them?
I'm sure we're going to be able to get some examples, some real examples also of what you're describing now. But just one general question, do you deal with all kinds of problems? I mean cultural problems, economic problems, social problems, or is it limited to...
It's everything.
It's
everything from...
education as well.
Yeah. So in any given day, my challenge might be, here's a good one, that we have a Hindu community that wants to create a cremation center. That's one, that might be tomorrow morning. And then in the afternoon, we've had, unfortunately, a family where there was violence in the home and the children, they're actually Mexican, if you will. This is a real scenario. It's a real day in my life. A family, the woman was a victim of domestic violence. She called the police came, they took the children now are in our public system. Those kids are actually not American, so we need to inform the Mexican government. We need to identify, right, so that's maybe 12 o'clock of the day. The third might be a health issue or a conversation around early childhood education. The fourth, hopefully I'm responding to emails. But it's everything and all things.